2009, Swedish metalcore and melodic death metal band Amaranthe releases their first EP, Leave Everything Behind. And in doing so, they become the first metal band to feature 3 lead vocalists, beginning with a young 24-year-old singer out of Värnamo, Elize Ryd. Since then, the band has put out consistent charting albums on the Swedish and Finnish charts, including several top 10s on the US Billboard Hard Rock 100. In 2020, after a move to Nuclear Blast Records, the band fires on all cylinders with Manifest, their debut with the new label. We sat down with Elize just before the release of Manifest and to talk about the switch to the new label and all things Amaranthe. This is an exclusive interview with Elize Ryd of Amaranthe.
Hi guys, this is Elize Ryd from Amaranthe, and you are listening to 99 WNRR.
Welcome everybody to the 99 WNRR and Launchpad Live interviews, and it's an absolute pleasure to have Elize Ryd from the band Amaranthe. We're going to talk about their move to their new label, Nuclear Blast Records, and also their new album, Manifest, which debuts in a few days. I do have a question right off the bat. You guys, your preceding records have always had a very big sound, but this one is a little different. It's more elevated. It's a deeper sounding record. Is there a reason to that?
Actually, yes, there is. I think when it comes to the sound, we were actually very inspired after coming back from the tour with Sabaton, where we obviously heard very big sounds every night.
Yes.
So that was kind of a good, comparison. When we didn't listen to the demos we wrote before going on the tour, we were like, no, this doesn't have enough power and strength, which we obviously got a bit addicted to. And so that was actually very inspiring, sound-wise. And also, these kind of arena sounds, there is very few things that can be compared to these. So we tried to kind of, recreate that, but on the album.
Okay, so this record was pretty much, already underway by the time you guys were on the Sabaton tour. How many tracks did you guys wind up laying down in demo?
Actually, we had probably 30 ideas, maybe more like 8 or 9 or 10 finished songs before we went on the tour with Sabaton. And then when we came home, like I said, we didn't write anything on the tour actually, but we just came home and we decided all right, cool. So now let's decide which ideas we should continue to work on and finish so that we have 12 songs on the album that we're, and we listen and we're like, but I feel different. Like we felt, I can't connect to these songs now anymore. I want more power. And I was actually, waking up in the middle of the night even, 3 or 4 nights with a song in my mind. And I just was sitting by the piano making demo. I brought it to Olaf. He was getting the idea, making an arrangement. And then after 4 days, we had 4 new songs. And then he came up with cool riffs, which we usually start our creative process after 12 in the night. And he recorded these ideas with the riffs and some keyboards. And I was saying oh my God, this is so good. Oh God, yes, we have to continue working on this. And after 2 or 3 weeks, we had written already 8, 9 completely new tracks, which all of them ended up on the album.
Really?
Yeah, so it's between end of February till beginning of February till the beginning of March, then when we went to the studio.
I actually have a second question, but I want to dovetail that. What was it like for you guys now with the added songs recording this in a COVID-19 era?
It was a very odd situation. But it also kind of gives you, the extra push to even do better, I think, when you realize that you cannot take things for granted. And you want to just you get even extra, not extra excited, but extra crazy or, yeah, exactly.
Energy and you can go over things. Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt.
Instead of when you're stuck in a loop, it seems like you're doing things, you try to stay focused and in control. Yeah. And that this COVID situation just kind of threw everybody out of their comfort zone, including us.
Did a lot of what's going on with COVID filter into some of the emotions of what was going on with the record?
Absolutely. Now looking back, yes. I mean, there is like all kinds of emotions. Like, yeah, you're grateful for being alive. You're annoyed by everything, like false news, like people being upset. It's like a frustration at the same, and like there is a lot of emotions, and yeah, I think being in a studio, able to create an album, that of course made everything like, it gave us of course an extra push and a bigger meaning to each word actually.
I mean, that had to be an emotional strain because, obviously, so much of the dynamic in a band is based on the human element.
Absolutely. And in fact, none of us did see our families. We couldn't visit our parents, obviously, because they're in the risk zone. So the only thing we had was each other at that time. Especially me and Olof, we were stuck in Denmark for like 3 months. And then we were so happy and excited when Henrik and Nils finally made it into the country. And Morten obviously lives very close by to the studio. But there was like, yeah, of course, every day was, you didn't really know what to expect. And to be together, and I also think like Morten's drumming on this album is amazing. It's sometimes like maybe as a musician or like an artist or in general, you get so focused on like trying to be your best. And then in the end, when you get like this kind of outer perspective on things, you realize it's not about being your best. It's about being able to like get your passion out and what you realize that you love to do. And then we were at least able to do that during the whole, fucked up situation where we know a lot of people were stuck at home and a lot of musicians were actually really depressed, getting all their tours canceled and they didn't have any second plan, so we were like, oh God, like what's happening? And everything like made us, maybe it is and was very chaotic, like a big crisis. And Johan wasn't able to make it to Denmark, so he recorded his bass in Finland. But I actually have to say, like, I loved the sound of the bass on this album. I think it even gave some kind of extra, because he could focus 100% on his bass. He wasn't disturbed by anything else. And we just received the files and they were perfectly, cut together. And we pumped the volume of the bass on this album, which I personally actually love. And I'm very happy about that. So it's like a situation that could have turned out very awful actually made everything a little bit better, I think.
It's funny that you mentioned that because this album kind of takes me back to Massive Addictive and the Nexus. Not so much Maximalism and Helix. Those I felt had a little bit more of an R&B tone, an R&B added vibe to it. But I love the way that Manifest actually kind of reaches back a little bit with its slightly harder edge.
That's amazing. I mean, of course, there is also the fact that we have a new management. We work with very good booking agents. We have a new record label, which is super excited to work with us. And then we started to think, but what are us? Like, what are they, expecting to get? And we thought at the point in time, like, maybe this is not the time where we are going to experiment and go totally crazy towards a completely new direction. We thought, why not just like kind of get back to the core of what we believe is Amaranthe and what we think we do best. And that's what we focused on the songwriting. Just not trying to experiment too much.
Yeah, that's a great statement. Getting back to who Amaranthe is. And, I hate saying going back to the roots because every band says that. But the bottom line is that I think that in doing that, you've created a landmark record. Your statement, your manifest, so to speak, especially your first with Nuclear Blast.
It's super nice to hear it from your perspective. And it's really nice to hear that our idea about doing that, the manifest, and what we believe that will be our manifest, which is now called Manifest. It kind of wraps everything that you just said together and it's very nice when you realize that you could achieve that goal, and that the message comes through to the listener. So that's very nice to hear, because you're the first ones obviously hearing the whole record. So I can't wait for the fans to hear it.
Yeah, it was an absolute treat to hear this record when it was released to us. Speaking of which, actually, what was that moment like when you guys decided to switch record companies? You know, you've been with Spine Farm for the longest time, and courted by Nuclear Blast. Was there any fear or trepidation going into a new label?
I would say now afterwards, it was very, very important to us. We've obviously been on the same record label for 10 years, which is a very long time. And it has been very good for Amaranthe. But getting into a label that they were actually showing interest in the band already when we re-signed with Spine Farm before the Massive Addictive album, actually. So they have been on our list, and it's actually like Olaf's favorite label. I mean, he's been a fan of all the releases, but not only because of the albums, but also like a fan of the record label itself. And they are an amazing label, and they are very true, and they're very enthusiastic. Like everybody working there are like real fans, if you know what I mean. They love the music, they love the scene, they want to do the best. And it felt we were very proud to be accepted by a label like Nuclear Blast. And of course, it was like a restart for us, feeling like we're not stuck in this loop anymore, where we just produce, and there's no new energies coming in. So it was more like also, not only like business-wise, but like get the energy and the enthusiasm from other people was very important to us. Very important.
I want to take a moment and switch the conversation to live. How much have you missed? I mean, you guys are an amazing live band, but how much have you missed playing to large audiences, and how have you been able to cope with the fact of not being able to play live?
Well, we're trying to keep the band active and keep their faith, because that's kind of important. So we're like... we're constantly talking about what we can do now, and we will release probably a few more videos than planned, since we don't want to just bury ourselves and stay quiet during the period of time where we were supposed to tour.
Exactly.
We talk probably more now than we usually do during a time off, which I think is really nice, actually. And everybody's very supportive, and we don't know, but we don't freak out about it. We're staying actually kind of positive at the moment, but we can talk again in like November, December and see how the status is then. Like for now, we have believed that in 2021 we will be able to at least tour Europe. But the plan was, of course, to go to the US, and there it's a little bit more unpredictable for us to know exactly the situation there. But yes, I've been also visualizing like, oh my God, I can't wait to play this song live. And I hope this feeling will stay with us until we're actually allowed to go out and play. So we don't feel like, we were excited back in 2020, but now we don't feel that anymore. No, I think that's also a technique you need to kind of learn as a human being, to like keep this passion and not let it die because of outer circumstances. That's what I'm scared of too. Maybe we're going to go totally crazy, all of us. We're going to just explode.
Now, everyone has a plan B with this current situation. No one knows what's really going on. And it looks like a lot of stuff is getting pushed back. A lot of shows are getting pushed back to 2022. Is there a plan B for Amaranthe if you guys cannot go out and finally support Manifest?
Oh, yes, we have been discussing it, and the obvious thing would be to do this kind of live stream show, which most bands do. But since we always want to make something extra out of every situation, we try to find a scenario where we can do something like a live stream, but a little bit more interesting. And that will take a little time, of course, to plan. But this is our hopes, yes, that we can give the fans something virtual and something really, really cool. Maybe something digitalized, since we're Amaranthe after all. And we have been talking about making cover albums. We have been talking about releasing like old demos. Just like now is the time where we could actually do something a little bit more outside of the box, which we probably wouldn't have done. So that's something we are kind of talking about and planning around. See what we can achieve.
I've been meaning to ask you, A lot of people during this whole pandemic have kind of picked up hobbies. I actually picked up reading. What were some of the things that that you picked up that you normally wouldn't have done?
Oops. Oh. Okay, I've been listening to podcasts.
Okay.
Oh, like a lot. And one of my favorites has been about like it's called like wait, the gongs. Sorry, I know we're running out of time.
Okay, we got 9 more minutes. We're good.
Oh, really? Great. Well, it's about like crime cases.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, I've been listening to this. It's like trials, actually. Addicted to this, and I've been listening for, well, so many hours. But I love it. It's really interesting because that's something obviously I probably wouldn't do otherwise.
I've always been a fan of crime shows, so I completely understand why you would be drawn to that. Hey, look, I want to say thank you. This has been a phenomenal conversation. I've had a great time, and I hope to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks. It was great to see you. I hope we will meet in real life someday in the States when we're able to tour.
I would love to do that. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll contact PR over at Nuclear Blast, and when you guys finally get here, we'll make that happen. It's been great talking to you. Take care.
Okay, it's so nice to talk to you. Thank you for listening to the album and giving very good I will tell the rest of the guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.